there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. I'm telling you, we just had the most amazing, funny, hilarious conversation that I wasn't rolling for the entire thing, but I don't think we can top it. It was too good. We are back for Ask a Crafter. I have Kathy and Lorraine with me, and I think we're all in frame. Sometimes they travel. Sometimes they back
Sneak
away.
off.
They sneak off the side. So hopefully we'll all be right in here today. I wanted to mention that I got a great resource for those of you looking to do soy candles. Makwa1111 posted to the viewer who's looking for a quality source of soy wax. I highly recommend Nature's Garden, and the website is naturesgardencandles.com. You will find excellent quality prices and selections of wax, wicks, fragrance oils, containers, etc. Good luck. So there, because I haven't used a soy wax.
No.
Have you guys? No, I haven't.
No, I just, the place that we went before, no, it wasn't wax, that's right, it was soap.
Oh, yes.
I'm confused.
Yes, the soap, and then we made the lip balm and stuff. Yeah,
And I got my microwave fixed so I can use the rest of the stuff.
Awesome.
Yes.
Your lip balms came out better than mine. Mine didn't come out very good. Did you get the base from them? That was the chemistry store.
But there wasn't that much base, so I added. Did you add stuff to it? Because I added.
You know what? I think that base
stuff.
is Crisco. It's Crisco. I'm like, I just paid $16 for about 8 ounces of Crisco. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so too.
I probably had no trans. Probably was like zero trans fat.
Some
Crisco
beeswax and Crisco.
Oh, you know, I did add some beeswax to it to harden it because it was really soft. But yeah, seriously, use Crisco. And then you use chocolate wafers, right? The baking chocolate, not the baking chocolate, like the kind you get for like pretzels and stuff.
We did some, for color. Yep.
Yeah, that was
good.
Your lip balm came out really well.
Then I had bought the
flavoring oils.
It's basically candy, almost candy from the candy lady.
Candy lady's no longer in business.
Yeah. Really?
So sad.
She's
not? No, she's not.
She retired.
So sad. Our one independent cake candy lady is retired. That's too bad.
I didn't. I saw no signs up on the building after you said that. I looked and they. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I go there not like all the time, but 3 times a year.
There you see, you should open a cake and candy place in Bangor, Maine, because everyone will go to her cake and candy place. See, there's an opportunity. Yeah. We were talking about opportunities.
Well, I have actually thought about it. I mean, I have thought about it and talked to my husband about it, but you know.
I want no part of it.
He rains on my parade every idea.
Just gotta do it. Take it or leave.
Yeah, you just gotta do it.
All right, Lorraine, what do we got for a question?
Okay. Kaz C says, I saw a video recently of someone using Derwent Intense pencils to watercolor a digi-stamp. I wonder how she did that because when I tried it, my printer ink smeared and ruined the image. Can you help, please?
Sure, I got a couple ideas for you. Now, the lady that did that, or man, I'm not sure, may have used a laser printer, which wouldn't have run with the Inktense pencils, which is they're like a watercolor pencil. It's a water-soluble ink pencil. They're fantastic. But you can print out, if it's not too complicated of an image, you can print it out and then use a colorless blender pencil. They're about $1.50. Prismacolor makes them. Lyra makes them. Basically, it's a colored pencil, but it only has the wax and the binder. It doesn't have color in it. And you can draw over your design and use that. Or you can heat set it with your heat gun. And again, it's not going to make it completely permanent, but it's going to help immensely. So you heat set it with your heat gun, and then when you go to color it as normal. But then try using a blender pen instead of a wet paintbrush to blend it. And a blender pen is like a water-based marker, but it's got just like water and glycerin in it. So it's not going to be as juicy as dipping a paintbrush in water and blending it, because that's really going to make your ink bleed. With a blender pen, if you heat set it with a heat gun, use a blender pen, that's going to be pretty safe. It's unlikely.
Controlled flow than water.
Right.
Yeah.
You can also try printing your stamp as a draft, in draft form in your printer, so it's not going to spit out so much ink. That will help, with the ink, but still heat set it. But those some people use even a spray sealer, but I think that would I think that might mess up your effect with your Inktense pencils. But have you guys ever tried that?
No, I guess I probably think I might emboss to emboss.
Oh, catch it quick.
If you
Yeah.
do, I've done that before. So.
Yeah, you like sprinkle it.
And then you kind of have lines
Yeah.
to hold your color in.
That's true. That's true.
So I won't color over the lines.
Right, so she's talking about like catching it right when it comes out of the printer, sprinkling it with clear embossing powder, and then heating it. You have to be very quick for that, but then yeah, you get the little raised bumps between your colors. So there's some ideas for you to try. Good luck. Let us know how you made out with that.
Let's see, Alexander E. Are there any other products that are like tracing paper? I remember you mentioning a few on a past watercolor video, but now I can't find it. Thanks.
Yes. Oh, you know what? Deli paper is very much like tracing paper. And I have some super great news because when I was getting ready to do some organizing videos, I cleaned up this random bucket of markers and I found my pH testing pen, the pen that tests whether something's acid free or not. And my deli paper from Sam's Club was acid free.
No.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice.
yes, I'm completely excited. The line stayed
Yeah.
purple because if it stays purple or blue, then it's acid free or acid neutral.
Right.
If it goes to yellow, then it's has more acid in it. It's more acidic than basic. So I was so excited.
I used to have one of those pens.
American Crafts. I think I got it at Nancy's way back in the
Yep,
day.
way
That's
back in the
exactly
day.
where we got it.
Right with my red eye
I
pen.
got
my
mine and a red eye
my
pen.
red eye
I have
pen.
no idea where they are.
Mine are now living in my marker tower over there.
Yeah, you gotta have those.
Yeah, I completely emptied the random bin of markers and gel pens. You know, sometimes you just get these random bins. It's like, I am never going to go through that and look for a marker. I'm going to go to my marker tower and find, what was I thinking? I don't know.
Okay, Megan Shea wants to know what she can use acrylic ink for as she bought a bottle of silver and purple on sale.
Oh, right. Now,
Acrylic ink.
yeah,
Acrylic ink.
it's like, it's like India ink, except the base is acrylic instead of a shellac. You can use it in your calligraphy pen. You can use it with a dip, like just a dip pen, or dipping a stick into it and drawing with it. You can even cut like a sliver of cardboard and dip that in there and draw with it. You could paint with it. It'll be fairly opaque, even though it's really, really thin. You could use it as an acrylic paint, but just consider it's going to be really thin. You got a silver, so you could mix that with other, with your acrylic paints or watercolors. Now the thing is, you want to make sure that if you do this, do it on a separate palette, like not your watercolor palette, because if the acrylic ink dries, you're not going to be able to remove it. So like, maybe make a few puddles of different colors of watercolor and then add little bits of the acrylic ink in it, and you'll have a nice iridescent paint to use in your art journal. It won't be waterproof after you put the watercolor with it. I think that's going to break it down too much, but you generally wouldn't be, letting your papers get soaking wet anyways, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. So yeah, mix it with any water-based stuff, but just make sure you don't let it dry in any of your brushes, your pens, or your watercolor palettes. Do you guys have any other ideas for that? And I would use it up because I got a couple little bottles of Speedball acrylic ink, and they dried up on me before I could use it, and I opened it up and the thing was empty, and it was just like a thin film of paint along the edges.
Wow.
So yeah, use it or you might lose it.
Snoopy V says, "Hi ladies, I'm thinking of biting the bullet and investing in M-gram watercolors. I like the John Pike palette and it holds 20 colors. What 20 colors would you consider to be the most versatile staples of watercolor and worth getting? I'll probably get them 5 at a time, so if there's a better order to get them in, please let me know that too. Thanks so much for all the crafty goodness. Hugs, Snoopy."
Okay, well I don't think you need 20 colors, first of all. But if you're bound and determined to collect that many, I will list them in order of importance.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. I believe in having a warm and cool version of each primary color. So for reds, I would recommend...
The color wheel. Here we go.
Pay attention, Lorraine!
Lorraine's gonna go to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
We'll wake her up in a couple minutes when we're done talking about this. So you need 2 reds. So you need to get like a alizarin crimson or quinacridone magenta. I might have actually said it right this time. And then for a warm red, you want like a vermilion, or my favorite is cad red medium. Then for yellows, I prefer cad yellow light to lemon yellow because it's more vibrant. It's also more opaque, so if you don't want an opaque, it's still considered transparent watercolor, it's just more opaque. And I would get either a gamboge or a cad yellow medium or a cad yellow deep for your warm yellow. And then for blue, you'll want either a Prussian blue or a phthalo blue. And you want either an ultramarine blue or cobalt, and I would go with ultramarine before cobalt because it's a little bit more intense. You'll want sap green because that's a color that's hard to duplicate. You'll want burnt sienna, which is a reddish brown, and burnt umber, which is a cooler, more neutral brown. and yellow ochre, and those are the absolute ones you ought to have. Now, to add on to that, I think you should use your own judgment. Like, what colors do you like? You may love cad orange. You might love, you know, some more browns in your palette. Payne's gray is actually, I know, I wouldn't, well, that's up to you. Generally, you don't use black with watercolor, but maybe if you're doing art journaling, I didn't mean to dismiss that. I'm so sorry. I acted dismissive.
No.
I didn't mean to dismiss that.
You didn't, no.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't offended in the
Oh, okay.
least.
I was like, wait a minute. I was very
Oh my
judgmental
gosh,
about the
no.
color black. I don't want to be judgmental. Usually you mix your, like, I love making my black with ultramarine blue and
I
burnt
know
sienna.
that you always mix it, but I just, I don't know.
For mixed media though, maybe using a black would be what you want, but usually for painting with black out of the tube doesn't usually
Give the
match.
idea of a black, not
Yeah.
black. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. But Payne's gray is a lovely color. If you want to have a pre-mixed gray, it really feels like an ultramarine. It's its own pigment. You just want to make sure the colors you're getting are pure pigments and not like a mix. Because if you start with a pure color, you're going to get more pure mixes rather than going with a color that is already mixed. So that would be my advice. If you guys have any colors, that was 10. Yeah, I don't think you want to start off with 20. I think, you know, add as you. If you feel like you're really missing a rich orange, or you can't mix a really good rich orange with what you have, then maybe go with a cad orange. If you're feeling like your yellow's too opaque, you know, maybe find a more transparent yellow. Or I wouldn't go more than 10 on your first palette. You can mix almost anything you can think of. The only difference is if you want different granulation or different, like, you want more of a dye-based color that's going to spread and be more transparent, or you want something that's going to granulate and dry with that texture to it. You know, it's all very subtle, and you wouldn't necessarily even notice it right off the bat. You know, you have to kind of get some experience under your belt before you even notice it. And I just saw a great watercolor class in the Bangor Adult Ed Flyer, and I think I'm going to sign up for it.
Really?
Yes, it's a
Take it or teach it?
Take it. No, take
Wow.
it. The instructor is somebody I saw demonstrate a few years ago at a Bangor Art Society thing, and he's offering a class. I think I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's space.
When is it?
It's Monday nights, 6 to 9. It's an advanced watercolor
How advanced.
class. So
Would not be,
I'm out.
because, you know, I thought he should buy black. He or she, sorry. I don't even remember what.
I don't know. I don't have that question. This is something
Snoopy, I
else.
think.
Oh, Snoopy. Yes, that's right.
Okay. Fonda Hughes says, I have Windows 8 and looking for a software to make designer papers for scrapbooking or mini books. I can't seem to find one. Do you have any recommendations?
Well, I'm not quite sure if she wants to design the paper or if she wants to just print out papers. If you want to just print out papers, there's a free program called Scrapbook Flair, and there's lots of pre-made patterns there. If you want to design your own, I use Paint Shop Pro, and what you can do, like if you have a little sample, like a tile, or you maybe just make a new document and you splash some colors in there from your your little color palette on the computer, then you can open up another page, the size you want, so you'd make it 300 dpi, so it would print really good, and then whatever size you want to print it out at, and then you would then if you go over to the palette and you choose pattern, if you have any open windows on your computer, any open like documents in Paint Shop Pro, it'll tile it. You can select it, then it will repeat it, like tile it all over the paper, so you can make some really cool patterns that way. So I use Paint Shop Pro. You know, I know Corel Draw is very popular. It's also crazy expensive, as is, you know, Photoshop and some of the other pricier design softwares out there. I don't know if you can design papers like that on GIMP, but Paint Shop Pro, you can usually get like the latest, not the latest version, but the one right before it for under $50 on Amazon. So that's what I would recommend. But you know, there might be, if you guys have a recommendation, please leave it, because I use it because I've been using it for 10 years. I'm familiar with it, so there may be better programs out there. So do you guys know of any?
No, I just used the Adobe, but it was the Elements or whatever.
Yeah,
And I liked it. I mean,
you
I
can
got
use
used to
brushes
it.
in
It was good.
Elements,
Yeah.
though. That's
Yeah.
a thing. There's lots of free brushes out there, and you can't use brushes in Paint Shop Pro. So
Oh, really?
yeah, no, there are some like similar. I think you can use your brushes in GIMP though. Yeah, GIMP you can use
Maybe I should
brushes.
check
So
that out then, 'cause
Yeah.
GIMP's free, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could try GIMP with
I haven't done
brushes
that.
before you try Paint Shop and see what you can do before you spend any money. And it's completely legal. It's not like some like crazy illegal download. It's made like I think by university students. I think it's one of their projects. They keep updating it.
So Edna Miller asks or says, "Hello, crafty ladies. I want to know, can I use glass paint on a shirt?"
Well, Of course, I'm not one to, you can use whatever you want for whatever you want, but here's the thing. Glass paint is designed to be on rigid surfaces. So this is glass. If I paint on this, it's not going to move, it's not going to flex, okay? So glass paints tend to be very hard and rigid. But they could also be acrylic based. But if I get a t-shirt like my question mark shirt here, it's very flexible, So if I was just painting on this with glass paint and then I let it dry and it worked the next day and I, folded it or crinkled it, that paint's gonna pop off. It's not designed to bond with fabric. But if you, mixed it with some fabric medium, you probably could. The other characteristic of a lot of glass paints is that it's transparent. So if you're painting on a colored shirt, it's just gonna look like you spilled something on your shirt. It's not gonna really stand up and be opaque. So I think that I would save the glass paint for a glass project, and I would get even some inexpensive acrylic craft paint, like Ceramcoat. You can use Ceramcoat. That's only about $1 a bottle, maybe $1.50. I haven't bought that in a long time. It seems like it's always on sale for like 88 cents if you see more. That would be a much better bet. And you can buy a bottle of fabric medium, mix that in there. It's going to make it more flexible, and you can use that right in your shirt. Or you can get fabric paint. Fabric paint's not that expensive. Those little bottles of fabric paint are only like $1 too. So I wouldn't recommend it. I think you'd be frustrated if you spend a lot of time on it and then your paint popped off. Even though they might both be acrylics, they're formulated for different types of surfaces.
Alrighty, Jeannie DW83 says, what is the best watercolor paper for beginners that want to make cards and stamp? I don't want to spend a ton of money.
I would recommend, there's a Fabriano, actually I've got a pad of it over there, I'm just going to grab that. It's, the thing I like about it is that it's a hot press. Is this one? Yes. This Fabriano, it's 140 pound, hot press, 50 sheets, and you could get 2 cards easily out of each sheet. Just cut it in half and fold it, or you can make your bases out of cardstock and just cut off little panels. You'll probably get 6 cover panels off this. They sell this at Jerry's Artorama and Dick Blick and Cheap Joe. I think Cheap Joe's. Most of the online sellers will have it, and I think I got this for about $20 on sale, and it's 50 sheets and it's 140 pound. If you can get the hot press, the great thing about it is that because you said you wanted to stamp, you can stamp on the hot press, and it's not going to skip over the grooves. Like cold press paper often has grooves, and it will skip, and then if you're wasting every other sheet because your ink is skipping, that's going to be so frustrating. So get the hot press, even if you have to pay a couple more dollars for it because you can't get it in the local stores and use a coupon, it's still going to be worth it. And that will do you really well. This is a really good bargain though.
Yeah.
I have this in the hot press, in the cold press. It's great for classes because it's actually a decent paper. It's got 25% cotton, and most student papers are all wood pulp. So it's really great. This is called the Fabriano Studio Watercolor. It's a 50 sheet pack of 140 paper, 140 sheets. Now 140 pounds, 50 sheets. Good grief. They have a package of 75 too, but that's a 90-pound paper. If you're going to make a cardstock base and then glue the paper, the paintings on, you can get by with a 90-pound. They're both excellent. That would be my recommendation. I either got this at Jerry's or Dick Blick. I'm not 100% sure, but I paid about $20 for it. So, let me see what time. 17 minutes. We got 2.5 minutes. I don't trust my stopwatch because I'm liable to hit the buttons and or not starting it at all. So,
Dream Tears, I have a question. I recently bought a few color box chalk, cat size, from a store that had closed down its scrapbooking section, and I discovered that one of them is dried up. But I get some color if I press it down on paper. Is there a way to save it?
yes, you can actually put a few drops of glycerin in there. What's happened is the glycerin is dried out. Put a little glycerin on there and just let it soak. Maybe just kind of like if you have an old credit card or gift card, work it in back and forth, and then it should get nice and soft and you should be able to stamp with it. If not, if you feel like you're just getting the glycerin, like the oil out, and it's not getting any pigment, add a couple drops, just like a little eyedropper of rubbing alcohol right from your medicine cabinet, and work that in too. That will loosen up and reconstitute any ink that's dry in there. So that will help you. And same thing, like if you have an old if you have a stamp, like when I first started stamping, I did not clean my stamps well, and I used a lot of metallic pigment ink, and oh my gosh, it was awful. It was just caked in there. It's like I never cleaned my stamps. And so like you can put some alcohol on, and alcohol is not good for stamps. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. It's not good for stamps. But neither is having, eighth of an inch of caked on pigment ink either. That's not doing it any favors. So you put the alcohol on the rubber, let it sit for a bit, pick at it with like you might need to use a toothpick.
Really?
It shouldn't damage a rubber. I mean, rubber is much harder than toothpick. Scrape out as much as you can, then use like some Simple Green straight out of the bottle and a toothbrush and scrub it, and then That's how you would clean it off of your stamps if you've neglected to clean them after that pigment ink, man.
Some people don't clean them at all. I remember that lady in the stamp show we went to, I asked her, because her stamps were terrible.
Oh, the lady I can't stand?
Yeah,
Was that lady?
one. Yeah,
Oh, don't tell her who it is.
I can't remember who it is. I don't remember who it is,
I
but
can't stand that lady.
I know it.
She's
She
very
was
rude.
one of those artists that
Yeah.
don't like to.
Yeah.
She
Share.
thinks, yeah.
And she would be like complaining about the person in the next booth. Oh, don't buy her things.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's terrible.
You stole that idea from her over there. I've seen it before.
I know.
You know?
Her stamps were like, I said to her, I don't want to offend you, but do you ever clean your stamps? I can't stand that.
Oh.
There can be dust all around.
I would think that sometimes it could reactivate and you
She
get
said she
cross
did that.
color. Or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. Maybe but I think she
She
only
just
stamped
had
it
a
black.
rag on her lap, and that's how she
Yeah.
considered cleaning them.
Ugh.
They
Yeah.
didn't look very clean to me.
Yeah. You know what? I think we've actually started a new file. Want to keep on going? Have a long episode, or?
I know you're the
Is
boss.
Yeah.
No, let's keep on trucking. We've already started a new file on my camcorder. If you haven't been here for the long run, it only records 20-minute increments. So if it goes more than 20 minutes, I have to actually edit. But I love you guys, so I'm actually going to take it
She
upstairs.
hates editing.
But I will edit this together. We'll go a little long today. Merry Christmas. A little late.
Merry
Happy Valentine's Day. A little early. I don't know.
Happy Martin Luther King Day.
There we go.
There we
Yes,
go.
yes. That was yesterday. Well, they were taping. It'll be like 2 weeks
Yeah.
ahead of time.
Oh, well.
Oh well. We're fine.
So, do you want me to ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
That
Susie
is
D.
why we're here.
Susie D says, "Hi ladies, I want to start crafting big house projects. I want to make a backsplash for my kitchen using sculpty clay tiles I make myself. I went on the internet looking for inspiration, couldn't find anything. I'm 50 years old. I'm tired of making knickknacks and tchotchkes,
Tchotchkes.
tchotchkes, etc.
Like figurines and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Oh, yes, I do. Any suggestions for house project ideas?
All right. Polymer clay project ideas. Well, somebody had actually suggested that she do switch plate covers. You know, little switch plate covers.
Oh, yes.
You can also cover bottles, like decorative bottles, you know, put a layer of clay. You know, you can roll it out really thin on like a piece of wax paper and even stamp on it and make like a cool design, and then you can wrap it around like a glass bottle or something like that.
Yeah, I see them do that and just Millefiori
Yeah.
slices all over them. They're
With the
gorgeous.
clay? With the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, there was a
Haven't
good
seen
book. There was a, gosh,
Yeah, like start with something like those little candle globes at the dollar store and
Oh.
do it and you slice them off and then they kind of, you can see through them
I
too.
just realized how
Yeah,
dusty
but
this
she
is.
doesn't
This
want
is
more
awful.
stuff. She
Yeah, she wants to know
what
how
her,
to do those tiles.
Yeah. She
So,
wants something that, you know.
So, I guess I'm not really sure at all what she's
Backsplash.
looking
Boy,
for.
that
She's
maybe
like
just
thinking of
roll
putting
out.
together like a Millefiori tube and then slicing them off.
Oh yeah,
Or-
that would
Oh,
be
that's
nice.
a good
I mean,
idea.
I wonder what she has for an area to cover. Like if she's going to go right on top of ceramic tiles, because you could do that. You could bake it right to ceramic tiles. I don't know how durable the polymer clay would be as backsplash.
Yeah.
You'd have to glaze it because it does
Glaze
it is
it, yeah.
somewhat porous. Yeah.
But you could say you could bake it to the ceramic tile, but her
Yeah.
tiles are probably already connected.
That's
they're
true. Yeah.
So cook the pieces and then use like a
oh,
like
what if
a
she could?
nails, what do they,
Liquid
the
nails.
liquid nails or
Yeah.
something or whatever they use for like grout to
Yeah.
stick actual tiles on to stick it on. But how like I'm thinking that it's not going to be as thick and as hard as like a tile, so like the pressure of like pushing it on. I mean, would the polymer clay break?
No, I think the
Or
polymer clay
should-
would
if
be
she,
fine.
She need to kind of maybe keep it smaller pieces.
Well,
but you
she's
said
she's
it's-
experienced, so she knows how to condition her
Yeah.
clay and stuff. So I think
Right.
she'd be fine. But I do love the idea of making the canes because
Yeah.
then you could do some really
Slice 'em.
pretty mosaics.
You
Like
could, you could add little
Yeah.
diamond pieces in around, or
just make sure whatever adhesive you're going to do is not going to break down the plastics in the polymer clay. I know some adhesives are not good for polymer clay, and some are fine. And then finding an appropriate adhesive. And then sealing it, I think you'd be fine. I think tiny little tiles would be so pretty behind a backsplash.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want. Yeah, that's a great idea. You guys think of anything? Maybe trays. You could do trays and coasters. Like organize.
to get a feel for
Yeah.
Right.
how much work she's taking on
Yeah.
to think about filling in the bottom of a tray and how much area that is compared to
Compared to
Yes.
the
how
backsplash.
big your
Yes.
backsplash
Oh my gosh,
is.
it'd be an ongoing project. Yeah, you could even use the translucent clay too and make some cool things. Like if you wanted to maybe cover over like a light fixture or something with like translucent clay and have like a stained glass effect.
Yeah, that's
So yeah. If you guys have any ideas for her, please leave them in the comments below, and then she can read through those and see what else you've come up to.
And we'd like to
come up
see
with.
pictures.
Yes, you can
What
post
she
them in the
does,
Facebook group. If you just go to facebook.com and search The Frugal Crafter, it'll bring you right to our community page where you can post pictures of things you've made, say hello, chit chat with everybody. We'd love to have you. We have like around 4,000 members now. We'd love to have more, so that'd be great.
And Lois Bailey says, "Hi Lindsay, my princess would like to make a bookmark. I do know it's easy, but can you give us some of your ideas? I would love some crazy out there ideas. Thank you so much."
Well, that's funny because when I read that, I thought she was saying, "Hi, Lindsay, my princess." You know, I thought she was calling me her princess.
Of course, she would actually think that's exactly
Oh, her princess wants to go there. Well, there's some cool ideas for bookmarks, like the little corner bookmarks where you like take like a little strip of paper, kind of like. Is this a used question?
Yes.
So you take like a piece of paper or a ribbon and you fold down the ends together, and you end up with like a little pocket that you can stick over a corner. And of course you can make that really fancy. You can do some stamping. I have some cool stamps that are like little corners like that from Art Deco, and they're like really cool for doing those. I have a video on that on my channel. I'll hopefully remember to link it. If not, you know, somebody can bring it to my attention, I'm sure.
I did those for Valentine's one year and took like kind of personalities of the kids and you know, put bits and pieces on, like if they like the animals or rockets or horses, and added that to them. I've seen them do them as little monsters with teeth, and
You do them with
stuff.
duct tape
They're so
too.
cute, and
Use some
make them
fancy
really.
duct tape. I like to do laminate. Let me go. I'll grab some of the ones that I made over here. Well, I have, because I think tags and bookmarks are pretty much the same. And these are just I keep like if I don't really know what I like to make them, but I don't know what to do with them, I just kind of stick them all in this little vase. But some of my favorites are these ones I did with these Lost Coast Design chess piece
Love those.
tag. I have a tutorial. You know what? I have a tutorial on this.
Yeah.
And it's like my least viewed video ever. And I'm like,
Really? We gotta.
I love it. It's like my favorite idea. We gotta put a link to this.
Yeah.
It was my favorite little project because I remember I just got into that show Once Upon a Time, so of course it's on in the background, just an autoplay just going, and I just had so much fun making these. I had some with like spooky woods on them. Oh, all of these actually are like, and it was like the Mad Hatter episodes.
I love them.
Those are nice.
And I laminated it because I bought a laminator. They had it was like $17 on ABC Distributing.
Yeah, you
Really?
stole that. That's
Such a good
crazy.
deal. And then the packages of the laminating sheets, it was like a 100 pack, and you got a bunch of 8.5 by 11s and a bunch of 4 by 6s and a bunch of little ID tag size. And so I just laminated them, and I just love these. Whoops, that's a glare. You couldn't see that with a glare.
You should give those away at the library.
Oh,
Our library.
they come and take on my tags. So, and I just had so much fun making these.
Nice.
But I like laminating them because then they're going to be durable, and you don't have to worry about ink migrating. Because I used Distress ink a lot for this, and Distress ink, as you know, is reactivated with water.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if it got wet or rained on or, damp at all from some greasy kid hand, then it would get all over the book, and I didn't want that to happen.
Some grubby little kid.
Grubby little kid touching my bookmarks. This one was I did pan pastels with that one, and pan pastels are super fun to work with, but like any pastels, they're chalky and they would smear. They would probably some would rub off, even as careful as you are. So that was great. It just seals it right in there. Oh, I did a bunch of those. These were all Lost Coast.
I love those crows.
All Lost Coast. I love Lost Coast.
I do.
And you know what?
Lost Coast.
Oh, I'm so excited because I'm going to be teaching a class at the Heirloom Stamp Show in Massachusetts with Lost Coast. Yeah. So I'm that's in June, beginning of June. So I'm really excited. But they actually just bought Carmen Veranda stamps. I don't know if you guys remember that stamp company. It was pretty popular in the 90s. They have really funky stuff, a lot of Mexican stuff. And I'm excited. I'll be getting some of their stuff in the mail soon to play with. But so yeah, and this is just, it also makes the colors brighter. That's one that's not laminated. It's quite a bit duller. I didn't have a complete idea for that one. That one's a little plain. But it just really brings out the color, and and then it keeps it safe for your books. And then if you're not doing any severe inking, you don't have to laminate. Like there's just a couple I was playing with some die cuts. Those were some cherry lane dies and some patriotic papers, and just washi tape. And so washi tape's a great embellishment because it's so flat. It's not going to make your books bumpy. I try to stay away from like eyelets and charms and things like that might damage a book, especially if you borrow from the library a lot, which I do. So there's a few ideas for you. If you guys have any other ideas. Oh, I love these. This is from Rubbernecker. They've got these really cool watercolor sets where you can like stamp the different layers and it looks like a watercolor painting when you're done. I have a video on that as well. So hopefully that gave you some ideas.
I just did some with the girls. They made them for the teachers for Christmas. And we actually did cloth ones and a little bit of sewing. It's from, I think, Little Birdie's Secret. You can track them down. Who's the blonde on the Craft Channel that kind of runs it? Christy
McKay?
Christine McKay from my Craft Channel. It's on there somewhere, and I'm pretty sure it's Little Birdie's Secret. But
is that the name of the show, or is that the name of the company?
It's the name of the woman she had on her website that she had on that did the show and showed these bookmarks.
Okay.
But it's like a 4 inches by 8 inch piece of fabric and like some interfacing. I went and bought kind of a thicker, stiffer interfacing, and right sides together, stitch around it. All you fold it over so you only have the 2 sides to stitch around, and the short end turn it right side out.
Wow.
Cut the stiffer stuff, or you can even put a piece of cardboard in there. Have that a little bit smaller, slide it in, stitch over the end, and you can have that stitch around it and try to be square, or you can just go curvy. And then we die cut some flowers out of fabric, and then one of them we used the little goober dots and did the twisting and knotting, or you can just glue it as you go, and made one of those twisted knotted flowers on the end.
Just so that the twisted knotted flowers sat above the book.
Kind of, you put it on a felt base, whatever we did, so we kind of glued it on like halfway off so that it stuck up over the end. And I was thinking, I just got these really cool like mustache stamps. I was like, you could cut out like mustaches for men. Or,
Oh, neat idea.
And it was very easy. Like my daughter hadn't, I'm terrible because they haven't really sewn yet, but she did just fine.
That's great.
It's minimal amount. And really, if you don't want to sew it all, I mean,
Fusible web,
fusible web, you could glue it.
And, Oh, glue's fine. It's not like they're going to be washing it every week.
Yeah, but they were awfully cute, and you can use your scraps, and if you want to make it more, you could do strips of fabric together to make your piece that you cut out, which is my plan to do some more like rainbow ones.
Nice. Ribbons too. I bet you could stitch some ribbons down on there.
Yeah,
That's
or
a great idea.
Just plain and do decorative stitches with colored thread, but it was.
Oh, that's a great
fun.
idea.
Yeah.
I love it. I saw a cool idea, and I've pinned it before. And I did it with my kids for our crochet and knitting class when I was teaching them how to chain stitch. And what we did was we just did a long chain stitch, and then I showed them how to make pom-poms. And the kids love making pom-poms.
They do.
Yeah, and you could do a pom-pom in each end if you want to help keep it in the book.
Right.
But, it's not that bulky where I think it would damage a book. But that's another fun idea. And it's a great,
or they could just do ribbon and then some beading and have the tail hang out over. But those pom-pom ones are adorable.
So there's, bookmarks are fun because there's like no pressure. Just like a tag.
4 mediums, 4 or 5 mediums there to work with. So.
Oh, I was slightly embarrassed with the amount of embossing folders I had collected because I was reorganizing I'm going to do a storage video, my reorganization. It'll probably be up by the time this video's up. And I had, oh my gosh, just like stacks and stacks of embossing folders. It's like, I think I need to take a bunch of tags and just emboss them all different things and just play with them, and so I can refresh my memory as to what I have. And I was talking about how I stopped my stopwatch again. I have no idea what kind of time it is. It's gonna be like the longest show ever.
4 hours.
Just like the old days.
We'll make the news.
45 minutes.
That was regular.
That was regular.
Ask Your Crafter length.
Whoa.
So I was thinking I should take a bunch of tags and just emboss them each with a different design and just play with it, play with some die cuts, and just refresh my memory as to what I have, because they're they've gotten quite inexpensive, and they're so easy to collect.
So many, and
They are.
but
So
they're
many.
gorgeous. They add
It's
so
amazing
much.
to me to keep coming
So
out with
much.
more.
Yes,
I
and
love
I
them.
love that Doris is coming out with them because they come out with them and like they go on sale for $2 or less,
Yes.
and like Consumer Crafts will put them on
And they're-
sale.
What's
And they're-
that, Doris?
Doris, yeah, they have them at the big stores, and they go on sale like 2 for $5 or 2 for $4 or $1.97 each, and then they're a lot of times they're regular like, you know, $2.20 online at Consumer Crafts, and then they have some crazy like 30% off everything sale, and then so I stock up and I get another stack of embossing folders.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
how
I
often
guess I
go
gotta
through my
shop.
channel? How
I
often do I
gotta
actually
shop
emboss
more.
anything? Yeah, my problem is websites. I don't like to shop, but you know, I get that
Yeah.
little email. So, ooh, wow of the week. Let me at it. You know. Yeah, I got some dyes. I got some of the new Doris dyes, which were fantastic.
Oh, really?
And they
That's
work.
right.
They work. They were
Yes.
Doris, and they're brand new. And I'm gonna actually do a review on it because they're so fantastic. I was.
So I love the folders.
Oh my
and
gosh.
they're bigger. They have some bigger ones.
Yes, like they're 5x7. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
or
or the
like
12
the front
inches.
of your card. The
Yeah.
actually whole thing fits
Yep.
in there. So I love them, and for the price you can't.
Yeah, and they have the 12-inch long scrapbook borders.
Yeah.
Those you have to have the longer plates, but that's still the deal we
You
got.
don't really have to.
No?
I've done it without the longer
Really?
one. I don't have the longer one.
Yes, you
tried it
do,
too.
because remember our steal of a
Do I have
deal?
the longer one?
The steal.
Yes,
Oh,
you
what do we
do.
have for time? Can we talk about our steal of the deal? Our steal of a deal was.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It doesn't. Oh, I don't. Yeah. I guess I
So,
do, but I
we
don't
got
dig
this.
that out and
Here
use
we go.
it.
We got this. Both of us got one.
I
but
forgot.
God forbid we share anything around.
That's not true though. We do share. But
Yeah.
But some things we have to have our own. So AC Moore had the letterpress whole kit, with the Epic 6, I think the Epic 6 machine, the letterpress doohickey that goes in there, cutting plates, embossing plates, platforms,
then
a
I
set of
had
like
the
15
letterpress
circles,
stuff.
a set of letterpress things, inks, the brayer, the little
my gosh.
braying
sample
thing,
cards,
sample
and business
cards. Yeah, it had the letterpress paper, and it was $40. And I had, and just the platform itself was like $80. Was it 20?
I think it was 20.
Really?
They're probably giving it away.
I know. So I'm like, and I
It
had
moved. Like maybe it was originally 40, but it had moved to the clearance aisle. It was 20.
maybe I think did I pay 40? Maybe I did. I don't know.
I got a better deal than the Frugal Crafter.
Well, pin a rose on your nose. Well, anyway, I still think it was a heck of a deal because I figured, well, my big shot.
I think we paid.
Because we bought it like 2 days apart, didn't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
We got the only 2 they had.
That works like a big shot?
Yes, I don't like it as much, but, and you know, the thing is, I thought one of the kids in one of my classes had broke it, because I bring this to the class for the kids to use with, like, embossing folders, but it's just that platform, if you have it with a grid side down, it makes a cha-chunk, cha-chunk, cha-chunk noise. It doesn't do it with anything else. But those platform, that has the long, extended platforms, and it works in my Big Shot as well, so,
Yeah.
so it's great. So I have this in case my Big Shot dies, which I've had my Big Shot since 2008, when they first came out.
My big shot.
And mine
Thinking
is...
that I couldn't use that in my, because I don't have the Big Shot. I have the Kick. I think.
Yours didn't work in the
Thinking
kit?
I couldn't get it to cross over.
Mine fit
But
through my
maybe
Big Shot.
Maybe I have, and I got it sorted.
It only has one cutting plate, and that's the thing. But the cool thing about it, how much time do we have? Okay. The cool thing about it is that it seems.
Just forget about your question.
Yeah.
We're gonna chat.
The cool thing about it, I think the platform has a little bit of give to it, because on the die cutting thing, you have to cut it with the die up against the against the cutting plate.
Okay, maybe
But
that's
I
why.
cranked my Doris dies through, and it had the embossed edge. They usually have to go through with a squishy mat. It had it original, like, on its own,
Already.
without the extra. Because I never emboss the edges, because I'm not cranking it through it a second time. Sorry, not going to happen. Unless
You're
it's
not.
going to a magazine and I know it's going to be published, we're not getting the embossing edges. I'm not doing it. You know, I'm not doing it.
And I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it. So anyways, yes, I had that out the other day when I was cleaning and reorganizing my die cutting area. I was very impressed. But yes, so, you know, I think we are going to cut it short because we're almost at 40 minutes now. So yay, bonus long episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your questions below. Give us a thumbs up.
And we'll ignore them. Just gab.
Yeah, maybe we'll answer them if you're lucky. And I'm doing it. No, I will answer your questions. I've had enough. No, I'm just kidding. That's all for today. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.